Okay, so what does your company do?
Our company is mainly into power electronics business, design and manufacture of power electronics stuff. Um, it is a wholly owned subsidiary of Polycab, which is into wires and cables. And the Polycab wanted to develop its electronics competence, in-house electronics competence, and that is why they started this company in March 2021. So, and that is the time we also joined this company, and we started right from scratch by setting up the R&D and development lab and production facilities and all that. So we joined in February 21. The company was formed in March 21, and we then set up everything and started production by end March 22. And initially we started, we developed some LED drivers, and then we started the manufacture of luminaires for Polycab. Then subsequently we um, went ahead and designed more LED drivers, more types of luminaires, and then in 23 we designed and developed BLDC controller for ceiling fans, because Polycab also makes ceiling fans. And then we also started our own direct sales team in the beginning of 2023, because till that time we were only dependent on selling things to Polycab. So our external sales means to companies outside of Polycab Group, that started in 2023, and now we are going ahead developing uh, higher wattage LED drivers, and then we are working on developing more products like EV chargers and things like that. So our main objective is to develop those products which are either currently being used in large quantity in India, or further the market is going to grow. But those products are by and large either fully imported, or even if they're made in India, they're designed outside and with some minimal manufacture in India. So our target is to get into those kind of products in power electronics area. So EV chargers, solar inverters, high wattage LED drivers, uh, and similar kind of products, and then some high efficiency motor controllers. Those kind of products are the ones we are mainly aiming at.
Okay. So you talked about designing and manufacturing power electronics product at your company, right? So do you have your own design team, in-house design team, and your own
Yeah, yeah.
manufacturing
When I
facility?
say when I say design, we are doing our own design. I'm not talking about getting design from somewhere, manufacturing somewhere else, and then calling it our own product. No, we have a very capable uh, design team, and our strength lies in that. That is the reason we are getting into design of those kind of products which are currently by and large not designed in India. Okay, and of course we have our own manufacturing facility, and all this is based in Halol, near Vadodara in Gujarat.
Okay, so can you please tell me that what are the key design considerations for designing a BLDC motor controller, especially in ceiling fans like you're talking about?
When you say design considerations for
Uh,
BLDC controller, means the fan in which it has to go in, the fan which it has to run, how many number of poles are there in the magnet, what is the resistance of its coil reluctance and impedance and all those things. So, uh, and what is the RPM needed? What is the power consumption expected? So, those are all the design, technical design considerations
mm-hmm,
which are there. And then, what are the features needed? Because
mm-hmm,
BLDC controller can give various kind of features like reverse feature, breeze feature, sleep feature, and then gradual increase decrease in speed. So those are all the features, so those will be the design considerations. And of course, quality wise, um, what are the components you use, what make of components which gives you good quality. And today our BLDC controller is one of the best in the market with a failure rate of less than 0.1%. So
okay,
we don't compromise on quality.
okay, okay, okay. So, do you also face some challenges regarding, manufacturing and designing it in-house, all the power electronics products? Any challenges you faced?
There are normal issues or challenges, but there is no great
Mm-hmm,
challenge in manufacture or design. Only thing is everybody in the market wants very low price,
mm-hmm,
and they keep quoting that we can get this as this much less price, that much less price, and those products which they are able to get at low price don't have that kind of quality, and we don't want to go down to that kind of quality level and
mm-hmm.
just to meet their price target. So that is one of the biggest challenge we face, because what our thinking is that if you don't go down in quality and reduce the price, you might get some short term gains, you will get some business fairly quickly, but then over a period of time your name will be spread as okay, your products are failing or your quality is not so great. So except for very low level kind of customers who want some crap at very low price, you won't be able to get any good customers who want reasonable quality at an affordable price, because our name already is spoiled there. But um, having said that, in LED drivers, we did try and do an experiment of making products which were very low spec, not low quality, because there is a difference between low spec and low quality. Um, Low spec means where we say that these are the only things this product will do, these are the things it will not do. But low quality means we say something and the product does much less than that. So we never got into low quality products, but low spec products where we clearly said that this will have a higher failure rate or this will have a lower performance. And that is why it is cheaper. But it will, whatever failure rate, whatever performance we say, the product would actually meet that. So we launched those kind of products mainly to compete with low cost Chinese products. Um, but then the market keeps on going down in quality and price. So after some time, we decided that it is not our cup of tea. So those products which we made, they are still running, but now our focus is on reasonably good quality, durable products, and at a reasonably affordable price. And that is what we are doing with not only with LED drivers but also with luminaires and BLDC controllers and all other products.
Okay, so how would you categorize the Uniglobus in terms of its business model? Like it is an ODM or OEM or ESDM, what it is?
We are selling products in our own brand.
Mm-hmm.
So as of now, we haven't done any ODM or,
Okay.
of course, luminaires we sell to Polycab. It is in Polycab brand. So what we are manufacturing for Polycab, which is our own group company. So
Okay.
it is basically a designer manufacturer. I don't know what is the term for that.
So who are your target customers?
In case of LED drivers, our target customers are luminaire manufacturers. And in case of BLDC controllers, which we are now also selling outside of Polycab Group, our target customers are fan manufacturers. And EV chargers and all are still in development, but there our target customers would be varied. Sometimes it could be car manufacturers, sometimes it could be builders, sometimes it could be some other projects where we sell the EV chargers and all that.
So you have your own design team and a manufacturing team, right?
Yes.
So how do you ensure smooth communication between the various teams internally?
At the moment, we are all in one location.
Uh-huh.
So communication is not a huge issue as of now. When the locations become different, means design team is somewhere and the manufacturing team is somewhere else, then communication becomes a challenge. But as of now, that is not the case.
Okay, so what challenges do you face when transitioning a design from R&D to mass production? If you
I
are
mean,
taking,
our teams are quite used to those processes. We have a product development process which we call as the innovation process. So in that, there are various steps which we have to take when we are developing a product, and we follow that process. So generally, our products are first time right, with very minimal modifications once the product is launched, mainly because of that process. And in that process ensures that there is communication between the design team and the manufacturing team, and we will be doing initial prototypes, then some what we call as design validation phase, then we do um, pilot build, and when everything is okay, then only we will launch the product in market. Only thing is, going through this process takes bit longer than many other companies who do not follow this process. They are very quick to come into the market, but then after coming into the market, those products would undergo lot of changes and also will have lot of market failures. In our case, that is very minimal.
So, if there are, some design changes after manufacturing has started, so how do you handle that case? Have you handled any such case where design changes comes when the manufacturing has already started?
Yes, sometimes the customers will ask for something else, then we have to make a design change.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we have to want to add some features which we realize after the product is launched, then there will be a design change. So when design changes happen, then we have a process of tracking the batch code and all from which the design has happened, to trace back later on, uh, from the batch code of the product, what design went into that and what components went into that. So those processes are there in our company to manage that.
So, okay, so do you also make products, customized products like based on the client demand, or you are only manufacturing products and selling it in the market, and you're not doing any customization?
We do a limited amount of customization, in the sense, say for example, an LED driver, it needs certain different level of current than what we have. The customer is asking for some other level of current. So sometimes we may make that change and then offer them the product. Um, but sometimes that also is not feasible, so we may have to regret that. But
Mm-hmm.
beyond that, a very high level of customization we are not able to do, because those kind of customizations take a lot of resources, and in these kind of products in the market in which we are, um, people are not willing to pay that kind of price, and these products also don't have a very huge margin that we can do, spend that much time and effort doing customization and still recoup that money. And that
Mm-hmm.
is the case even with BLDC controllers. We make different variants, but again, uh, that depends on the whatever is the volume of take expected of those products.
Okay, so what role does quality control play in manufacturing process, and how do you do quality control with your products and
See, basically, uh, quality starts from the design phase. If the design is done well, that means when you're doing the design, you're following the processes of doing what is one of the processes called FMEA, failure mode and effect analysis. You do that properly, then you select components with those tolerances where you do tolerance study and make sure that with all the extremes of tolerances, the end product will still deliver what it is expected to deliver. uh, then your design itself is robust, and your PCB design goes through a good process which ensures that in manufacturing the soldering and all those things happen properly. The next stage is then getting components from sources which are of good quality, which are of reliable quality, um, and repeatable quality. So we go only to those sources. We don't randomly pick components once from here and another time from there. And we are also not getting any sort of kits from China, where sometimes some component comes in the kit, next time in the kit something else will come. So we are not doing any that kind of business. And then lastly, it is the process quality, that is process equipment, and whatever processes you are following in making the products, whatever SOPs you have. So once you do all these things, then the quality is not that much dependent only on checking the quality of the end product or testing and all that. Of course, there is certain testing which we have to do regularly, but then because of all these processes which we follow before that, we get very minimal rejections even at the end of line testing. And from the field also, we get very minimal rejection. Like, for example, say BLDC controllers. As I said, our failure rate is, say, 0.1% or less. Whereas we come to know that in the market, people have failure rate of 5%, 10%, and all that. And in the market, people consider 2 3% failure rate as a very low failure rate. So that difference is because of all these processes. And because we design the products in house, our team has a complete understanding of the product. We are not making products where something happens in the field, something goes wrong, then we are struggling to analyze why this happened, why that happened, and all that. We understand our product, and we are able to analyze what happened, and we are also able to fix the problems quickly and reliably. So that is the whole process which helps us make good and reliable quality products.
Okay. So, how do you balance cost, performance, and manufacturability of in a new product design? How do you maintain the balance?
See, right from the stage when the product design starts, in fact, even before the product design starts, uh, we make an assessment of the cost at which this product needs to be made. Then we do a very preliminary, even before the whole design is done, we do a preliminary assessment whether the product can be reasonably made at that cost or not. And sometimes it happens that we have to say that, look, at that cost this product cannot be made, so we are not going to take that in our hand. But once we have established that yes, this target cost looks close, maybe sometimes our cost estimate may be slightly higher than the target cost, where we think that we can do certain improvements, certain optimizations, and later on the cost will come down within the target cost. So then we take that product, and in the innovation process, there are various stages, various milestones, as we call it, uh, where at each milestone there is a reassessment of the cost. That, okay, we have done the paper design, we have done the circuit design. At that stage, we will assess the cost. Then we have made the prototypes. Again, at that stage, we will reassess the cost. We have done um, design validation or pilot build. We will reassess the cost. So there is constant cost monitoring going on during the whole process. And at any point of time, we feel that something has happened. We might have picked some more expensive component or something, or we might have made a design circuit which is more expensive. We stop and see what can be done to bring it back to the cost target, and then we proceed ahead. So this is the way we keep track of cost and to meet the challenge of quality as well as cost. And then in our regular production, of course, we have systems to monitor what is the cost of components, what is the cost of manufacturing, and all that. And then that is how we try to meet the challenge of good quality and cost. But we do not take the easy way that, okay, just go and buy some cheaper components with questionable quality just to bring down the cost. And we don't do that because we know that in the longer term it will affect our brand name. And then, even though we may have some initial gains, but later on we will have problems with that.
Okay, so how do you handle manufacturing delays or supply chain disruptions?
Sometimes those things happen, and I mean, depending on the situation, we have to manage. Like a few years back, there was this electronic component shortages. So if there is some component where there is likelihood of shortage, we may have to stock them in higher quantity. Or sometimes if there is a long lead time item, we may have to stock them in higher quantity. Although in our business, nobody provides us forecast and all that, we will have to do our own forecast of what might come. So, by way of keeping some inventory, by way of constantly monitoring our suppliers and market situation, we will have to manage that situation. I mean, there is um, no one line method, or there is no quick um, answer to that question, that how we manage.
Okay. Okay, so how do you handle customer feedback related to manufacturing defect or product failures?
I mean, generally, our salespeople will be in touch with the customers, and
Mm-hmm.
if there is any failure, then uh, our salespeople will attend to that. And then, like as I said, we also made some lower spec products where we had told the customer that there will be a bit higher failure rate because it is a cheaper product, and the customer has also bought that with that kind of expectation. And if the failure rate is within that, and the failure mode is also what we think will happen, then we have to accept that, okay, this is what we were expecting, that this failure will happen. But in terms of a higher spec product where the failure rate, as I said, is very low, uh, then if the failure happens beyond that level, uh, or if the failure mode is something which we did not expect, then our technical team gets into the depth and analyzes what happened. What was there anything which we did not imagine or expect when we were designing the product? Should we make some change in the product? Or sometimes we may have to decide that, yes, this is a freak failure and this can happen sometime, but then if we want to fix this, it is more expensive. So we may have to live with this, with that occasional failure. So those are all the decisions we have to take when some failure happens. And that is how we discuss with the customer. But basically, in all this, we are quite open with the customer. We share with the customer what exactly happened and why it happened and all that. So the uh, customer's trust in us does not denigrate. And because we are mostly into B2B business, the customers are also in a way manufacturers, and people who are in the manufacturing business, they do understand that in manufacturing, failure is part and parcel of the game. I mean, there is no manufacturing in the world where there is absolutely no failure. So they also understand, but as long as those failures and all are within expected percentage, the nature of failure is what we might expect to happen and all that, then they are also okay. We are also okay. And if there are any lessons learned, any improvement to be made, which will also be within the cost target, then we keep making those improvements on a regular basis.
Okay, so what has been your sales and revenue growth from last year to this year?
See, we have been in production for 3 years in a row now, including this financial year, which will be ending in next week or so. So we have had a CAGR of about 74-75%. So first year we had sales of 10 crores. Next year we had 17 crores. And now this year we'll be doing 31 crores. And next year our budget is about 50 crores. So we have been growing quite well that way.
Okay, so what are your key hiring strategies for attracting top talent?
Talent is bit of a challenge in our location. We are
Mhm.
in Halol in Vadodara, so we do have difficulty getting people, especially R&D people. So we keep looking for people, and then uh, I mean that is a challenge. People leave, and then we look for somebody else.
Mhm.
But it has still been, I would say, reasonably stable, and um, at least we make sure that once people are in our company, the environment which we provide to them in terms of working style and management style, and how we treat the employees and all that, uh, uh, people feel like working here.
Mhm.
So that is something which we do. But then sometimes people still leave because they would get something significantly higher somewhere else than what we can afford to pay them. Or sometimes the location, I mean, somebody is from some other location, they come here, but after that, they get something in their own chosen place, they go back. So those things happen.
Okay, so what are the current training trend in the industry, and how do you train your employees?
And being part of Polycab group, there is some training which is conducted by Polycab, so our employees can make use of those trainings. Then nowadays, because things are all online, there are a lot of training modules available in our Polycab system, which all our employees can access. And if there is any very specific training, then we will send people on that kind of training also. And of course, new people when they join, uh, there is a on-the-job training. Then we get graduate engineer trainees, so they also undergo training. Uh, I mean, on-the-job training for about 1 year. So there are various ways where we have training. Depends internally or externally. Polycab also has internal trainers, and many trainings are conducted by
Mhm.
those internal trainers too.
Okay, so how do you differentiate yourself from the competitors in the market?
First USP is to have uh, reliable quality, and then sometimes we would provide certain features because we do our own design, so we are able to add features which many times the other competitors are not able to do because they may not be doing their own design. So adding feature and all is not so straightforward for them. They have to go to their overseas designer and seek help and all that. Then other thing is in terms of service. If something the customer needs, we attend to it as quickly as possible, whether it is some discussion, technical discussion on product or new product, or it is something to do with some field failure. So these are the ways we try to differentiate ourselves. Uh, we try to maintain a reasonable price at a reasonable margin, but we are not mainly into just price differentiation where customer comes to us only because we are the cheapest. So that is not something which we can do while maintaining a reasonable level of quality. Because for that you will have to sacrifice quality. So that is
Right.
not something which we do.
Okay, so what are your marketing strategy for growing the company?
See, our growth strategy, if I may put it that way, is to uh, expand our product lines and product range, and that is the reason we started with LED driver, luminaire, then we got into BLDC controllers, then we are doing EV chargers or solar inverters or something which we are trying to get into, then high efficiency motors. So those are the things with which we try to grow. And when we pick new product lines, we make sure that that is in the general area of expertise which we have. It is not something totally removed. And we also have synergies in terms of manufacturing facilities and all that, where we don't have to excessively invest in manufacturing facilities or capital equipment and all. So those are the ways in which we are trying to grow. And last 3 years growth has also come in the same way. And further also we want to grow the same way.
Okay, so what types of machines do you use in manufacturing process? Do you prefer the new one or you take the second hand machines?
I mean, till now we haven't bought any second hand machine.
Okay.
I mean, our machines are not that overtly uh, expensive. Like sometimes people have machines which end up costing many tens of crores and all that,
Mm-hmm.
where there might be a need to look into second-hand machinery.
Mm-hmm.
So that not being the case, there is no need for us to keep looking for second-hand machinery.
Okay, so how important is a website or digital marketing in your business growth? What digital marketing techniques have been, most effective for you?
Digital marketing um, is something which supports our marketing, but our products are not such that they are totally or very highly dependent on digital marketing. But then it definitely complements, like trying to spread our name so that people register name and brand. That can be done better through digital marketing.
May I add, please?
Yeah, go ahead, Aniket. He is
Nidhi,
our expert in digital marketing, so it is better he answers that question.
Okay.
Nidhi, currently the product line is such as basically a lot of testing and everything happens. So for digital marketing, most reliable source for marketing for us is LinkedIn, where we get into contacts and experts and everything. Other than that, we use Google AdWords and everything for basically, you know how it works, the SEO and the SMO pattern for that. Other than
Mhm.
that, we are looking at influencer marketing, but to be very honest, it does not suit our products.
Mhm.
Website, yes, website is basically one of the key, because anybody who wants to search for the company goes to the website. So we are also revamping our website. It is under construction right now. So we are making it very user friendly, and we are trying to make sure that we add the cart option into, so people can come and directly buy our products from our site. So that is basically the idea. Currently, we are using. So let's see how it goes forward. So this is what we are doing in digital marketing part. Other than that, for marketing, the most important for electronic industry is the exhibitions and the meetups and the dealer meets, which we do it on a regular basis.
Okay, so are you also looking at new markets and new product lines? Are you, planning to launch something new?
As I said, we are working on new product lines. The EV
Mm-hmm.
charger, solar inverter, these things are new product lines for us.
So they
New,
are they are already launched, or you're about to launch
no,
them?
we are working on developing those, and we will be launching
Okay.
in due course of time. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
In terms of new markets, Polycab already has setups, marketing setups in countries outside India. So once we establish ourselves reasonably in India, we will aim for those markets more actively. As of now, we have made some products for the US market, which you can say we are working on doing a trial kind of marketing, but not fully focused uh, strategy on other markets as of now. But in due course, it will come.
Okay. So what is your current production capacity? Mm-hmm.
I would say capacity utilization, again, we have two, three different lines. It varies from line to line. It is of the order of, say, 60 to 90%. But having said that, the nature of our products manufacturing, which is basically electronics in case of BLDC controller, LED driver, and other electronic products, or in case of luminaires, it is basically sort of getting various components and assembling them. So, adding capacity even in electronics line, which is the most expensive, is not overtly expensive, uh, up to certain points. I would say certain point. I would say, like, recently we added one machine, and the capacity of our line um, became double. So similar thing we can do in some other lines also. And then when it is where it is assembly, it is a matter of adding more assembly stages, which doesn't cost that much. or sometimes we can run 2 shifts or 3 shifts. So the nature of business is such that increasing capacity up to certain level, of course, if it goes to a level where the building itself falls short of space and all that, then it is a different matter. But whatever capacity we have today, even I would say a ballpark figure of doubling or uh, making it 2.5, 3 times of that capacity is not such a huge task.
Mhm.
But currently, we are having capacity utilization, as I said, depending on the line of 60, 70% up to 90 or close to 100%. But if we get more business, and as we get more business, we can increase our capacity with not so much difficulty. Even recently, we have done that. We have added lines, we have increased our capacity, which we have done.
Okay, so how many production lines you have right now?
We have one full-fledged electronics production line, which
Mhm.
has what we call as SMT, which has manual insertion, MI, wave solder, and all those things are complete in that line. Then we have other 4 lines which are only SMT and you can say an oven. It does not have manual insertion and all that. So you can call them as part electronics lines. Then we have a luminaire assembly line. Then we have a solar inverter assembly line.
Mhm.
So we have these different lines as of now.
Okay, so these all are for mass production.
Yes, all are, you can say, mass.
Which product or service contribute the most to your revenue?
As of now, our luminaires which we sell to Polycab
Mhm.
and the BLDC controllers are our main revenue earners. But couple of years down the line, this could change significantly as we come up with more products like EV chargers.
Okay, so are you also looking for channel partners?
See, Polycab have some few lakh dealer distributors and all across the country. So when we have products which suit those kind of distributor dealer kind of market, we can use them. I mean, till now we haven't used them much. But as far as our current products are concerned, uh, they are not suited for that channel partner kind of business. But maybe when we start production of EV chargers and all, things could change. At that time, we may need channel partners. There are companies in LED driver and that kind of area who use channel partners, but then uh, those are companies which have huge amount of that kind of business, like Philips and Osram and all, who have been in that game for many years, and then their channel partners don't just sell the LED drivers, but they sell their luminaires and many other products. So it works out for them.
Mhm.
As of now, we are our products don't lend themselves for channel partners. And other thing is the margin in these products is also very tight. So when you have channel partners, you have to give some margin to your partners too. So when the margin itself is very tight, it is difficult to have more channel partners. So that is the situation we are in right now.
How do you minimize material waste in production? Like everyone is talking about sustainability and all, in especially in manufacturing. So, what is your take on that?
As such, we have very, very minimal material wastage in our processes, because when you talk of electronic manufacturing, we get components, and those components get assembled on the PCB, and they get soldered. So in the SMT machine, there is some droppage, what we call as droppage, where small components may drop uh, from the SMT machine when it is picking up. But because we have new machines and good quality machines, those droppages are very, very minimal. Then, other than that, because our components are also from good sources, the rejection at component level is also very minimal. Uh, then, when it comes to solder, over a period of time in the wave solder, the solder material needs to be changed. But when we do that, the remaining solder gets sold to the scrap dealer, but that is part of the process. It is waste, but then it is something which it's not like waste which gets thrown away. But using good processes, good quality solder, and regularly servicing the machine minimizes that. In terms of packaging material, as much as possible, we try to reuse the packaging material which we get our components as much as possible. Uh, but yes, there is some scrap that gets generated um, in packaging material. So that way, overall, our wastage is fairly low.
Okay, so it was nice talking with you. Thank you for your
Mhm.
time.
Okay. Thanks,
Thank you.
Nidhi. Bye.